continuing our video series on the good, the bad, and the deadly when it comes to cooking oils. Today's oil that we're going to be talking about is cottonseed oil. Cottonseed oil, aka the oil that they used way back in the 1800s on cotton machines to prevent the cotton machines from overheating and spontaneously combusting. So yes, again, another oil that is used for that was used on some product that had nothing to do with ingestation and is now something that we ingest on the regular. So cottonseed oil, also aka vegetable oil. Vegetable oil is usually a mix between soybean oil and cottonseed oil. Another known name for cottonseed oil is actually Crisco. Crisco, good old Crisco. So little known fact about Crisco, Procter & Gamble invented this in the early 1900s, back when they were about to go out of business, but they discovered this process of hydrogenation. Hydrogenation, you may know that term from hydrogenated oils, aka trans fats, aka not good for you. So they invented that process of hydrogenation, took the cottonseed oil, and then created Crisco. At first, Crisco was an excellent tool for candles, and that's what they marketed it as. But eventually they realized that through its composition, it looked a lot like lard, and so they thought, oh, maybe we can cook with this. Lo and behold, they come out with a, was it 1930s cookbook of 300 different recipes. The big thing that really took Crisco off was frosting. So all those baked goods, baked cakes that you see, yes, lots of frosting is full of Crisco, aka canola oil, aka, yeah, not that good for you. So I want to fast forward real quick, and I have a link in the description about this, but the American Health Association was actually, it's legally documented, they were paid off by Procter & Gamble when they started to begin to link increases in heart disease and early onset of death with Crisco. But rather than publicize that, you know, Procter & Gamble just kind of came in and was like, oh, hey, how about we just give you all this money and kind of push this to the side? So that should probably give you a red flag about anytime you have some big corporation coming in to a non-for-profit that we rely upon for helpful research, giving them a big donation, then all of a sudden this evidence that maybe was contrary to this big corporation goes away. One final thing to throw out. So as I mentioned, that the cottonseed oil was used on cotton machines way back in the day. One of the reasons why they stopped, these companies got away from using that because it was actually linked to what they called back then and there mule spinners, cancer, and infertility. So the men that were in these factories using this over time became infertile, and there was a drastic increase of cancer just among these workers in those cotton mills, which I don't remember how mule spinner kind of came about, but it was called mule spinners cancer back in the late 1800s. So what foods have cottonseed, aka vegetable oil, aka Crisco in them? So a lot of baked goods, so frosting, got to be very careful with the frosting, beef jerky, mayonnaise, chips, anything that's fried, lots of fast food. So fast food companies and chains buy this stuff in bulk, so you got to be very careful when you're going out to eat. A lot of times it's going to be in those foods unless it's otherwise mentioned in the ingredient list. So I hope this has been helpful for you. Signing off from the good, the bad, and the deadly.